Hi, YouTube family. Welcome back to Recording Movies Recap. Today I will show you an action, horror, sci-fi film from 2019, titled Captive State. In the nearby future, Earth is being invaded by aliens. Cities all over the world are losing power and supplies, while the governments are beginning to accept complying with the invaders is their only chance to survive. In Chicago, the Drummond family is attempting to flee the city by car. The father is a detective, so when a police officer stops them, he reminds him of the orders they've received. But the father refuses to follow those orders, so he drives back and tries to find a different escape route while saying they need to regroup and fight back. The road is suddenly blocked by aliens who vaporize both parents but leave the Drummond kids alive. 9 years later, the world has submitted to the aliens' governance, and they now are our legislators. Humans are conscripted to build closed zones, underground habitats, for the aliens with access only granted to and by high government officials. The army has been demobilized, and people are now obliged to help the aliens exploit Earth's natural resources. Everyone is also implanted with an alien bug inside their necks so they can be tracked at all times. The gap between the rich and the poor is greater than ever, police crackdowns have widespread, deportations are now off-planet, and digital communication has been shut down. Chicago has been walled off and is under martial law, so a resistance group called Phoenix has tried to launch an attack on the closed zone, but they failed. However, they've not given up on their mission yet. Unaware that he's being spied on by Commander William Mulligan, Gabriel Drummond begins his daily routine after spending the night being intimate with his girlfriend Rula. As he leaves his apartment, he meets with his friend Jurgis, and together they rush out of the neighborhood before some rats can tell on them or the alien drones that follow Gabriel from the sky can see them do anything suspicious. Meanwhile, Mulligan is looking at the newspaper and finding a seemingly normal ad that uses the Phoenix Group's logo, which clearly upsets him. After circling it with a red marker, he takes his car and visits a brothel with the same logo on its walls. There he meets with Priscilla Scott, who gives him a box and tries to be intimate with him, but he says he isn't able to do it, so he can leave now that he has what he's come for. He goes to the police headquarters, where he has a whole board of clues that say the Phoenix resistance group has not been neutralized, contrary to what the public has been told. Mulligan tells his partner Kermode that Phoenix has gone underground and is now communicating through the classifieds, but Kermode remains skeptical and thinks Mulligan is chasing ghosts. In an abandoned building, two members of Phoenix meet, Charles Rittenhouse and Patrick Ellison. Charles shows Patrick the classified and tells him training is over and the team will go in tonight, as per number one's orders. Afterward, Patrick meets with a masked informant to give him the news, saying he trusts him. Gabriel arrives at his job in the data reclaim center, where he must take memory cards from phones, upload the information they have to the central system and then destroy them. After noticing a coworker is stealing some of those cards, he takes a lunch break, where he meets with a member of Phoenix that hands him a hand-rolled cigarette containing secret information. When they're leaving work hours later, the woman that stole the cards is found thanks to the bug in her neck and taken away by the special force. After seeing an alien ship fly away above the sea, Gabriel meets with Jurgis inside an abandoned building, where they're hiding a boat they can use to escape the city undetected. Jurgis has also acquired some guns, which angers Gabriel, because they could put them in some serious trouble. As they argue and fight over the cigarette, they hear a police siren arrive, so Jurgis runs away and Gabriel tries to do the same after hiding the gun, but Mulligan manages to find him anyway. He makes Gabriel enter his car and gives him some food, mentioning his dad used to be his partner, so he has a responsibility to that. After failing to obtain information about Phoenix from him, he lets Gabriel go as he reminds him to choose the right side. Afterward, Gabriel goes to see Raul Casillas to sell the cigarette, but instead, he's thrown inside a van and put on a collar to block the tracker bug. Raul takes Gabriel to Wicker Park, the area where Phoenix's first attack happened, and tells him to enter an abandoned building. In there, his brother and Phoenix member Raphael Drummond is waiting for him, because he isn't dead, as the news said. He has removed his bug and is living off the grid now, allowing him to continue working on Phoenix's plans with more freedom. He gives Gabriel money in exchange for the cigarette and turns down the offer to escape together because he wants to follow their dad's wish to regroup and fight back. After sending Gabriel away, Raphael goes to another room and puts the cigarette paper on a carrier pigeon that flies away before he burns every paperwork clue he had with him and shaves off his beard. Raoul had materials and transport, Ivan was the one that hacked into the police's surveillance, and Harrison was a medical student that developed the method to remove the bugs. But now that they've disposed of their number one, all these rebels have killed themselves before they could be captured too, so Mulligan declares the Chicago network neutralized. The aliens ask more about Priscilla. Mulligan tells them she used to be a teacher and she's been off the grid for 9 years. She became a prostitute in order to have access to intel. She would groom politicians and convince them to divulge classified information, and Mulligan plays a tape to prove it. There are many governors' voices in the recording, but most importantly, Commissioner Igo is there as well, passing information to the rebels unknowingly. Igo leaves the room in shame, and when Mulligan points, the aliens declare him acting commissioner and order him to go down to the closed zone. Surprisingly, Raphael is allowed to live, but he's deported off-planet, and Gabriel watches the alien ship take him away with clear hurt in his eyes. Mulligan finds him and makes him get in the car, but when he points out Raphael is at least alive, Gabriel says everything has been pointless because the plan failed. However, Mulligan tells him perhaps the plan was to fail before and gives him the memory card of the phone Priscilla had handed him in that little box before dismissing him. Gabriel sneaks the card into his workplace by hiding it in his mouth and puts it in the machine to review its contents. He finds a video of his baby shower, where his parents are spending time with most of the members of Phoenix. Mulligan is there too, and he's introduced to a co-worker of Gabriel's mom's, who turns out to be Priscilla. The recording ends with Mulligan telling Gabriel he has a big family, and that the future is his, and Gabriel takes it as inspiration to carry the torch of Phoenix. But first, he deletes the video instead of uploading it to the database and destroys the memory card. The police throw Mulligan a party to congratulate him for his promotion, but he leaves early, not being in the mood to celebrate. Moments later, he goes through the standard procedure to be admitted into the closed zone. After being disinfected and given a mask, Mulligan enters the elevator, as the invisible substance of the powerful alien explosive envelopes him, indicating he is part of Phoenix and that the whole plan had failed on purpose so he could have access to the legislators and deliver a fatal blow right on their faces. The closed zone in Chicago is successfully destroyed, and this inspires other resistance strikes and protests to break out in major cities all over the world, because like Raphael had told Gabriel, if you light a match, you ignite a war. Thanks for watching.